Hey, my name's Jack Wall. I'm a composer. I've worked on games for BioWare, Mass Effect, and Jade Empire, 4 or 5 games in the Call of Duty Black Ops series. Today, we're going to be walking through and listening to 3 tracks from the original soundtrack to Mass Effect.
She saw her whole unit die on a cruise. She could have some serious emotional scars.
Every soldier has scars. Shepard's a survivor.
Is that the kind of person we want protecting the galaxy?
Oh, yes, the Mass Effect theme. Yeah, it's been a while since I heard this one. Lots of pad in the beginning, as I recall, and then this really super cool bass line comes in. So the story behind this one is I had written like 10 versions of a theme that none of which were working. And that usually doesn't happen with me. I'm not trying to talk myself up or anything. We just weren't getting it. And Sam Hewlett was coming in. We invited him to come in and help me because the workload was getting to be pretty intense. He was asked to write some theme ideas. And then one of them was the one you're hearing now. It was the dum bum ba-dum bum bum. That was Sam's thing he brought in. And then he flushed out even more of the theme. Then we went back and forth and did some arranging and orchestral stuff on top. And lo and behold, this is the theme. And it had that sort of majestic adventure that we were looking for. And the intention for the entire soundtrack, or the brief from Casey Hudson, was I want 80s synthesizer mixed with some orchestra. So it would be as if whoever was playing the synthesizers were inside the orchestra playing with the orchestra. And he really liked reverb, so everything had to be reverberant, If you think about Tangerine Dream and Blade Runner, those types of references were from the 80s, sort of 80s sci-fi. So those are our references. So we wanted to use that sort of idea and then have a sort of adventure, military, quasi-military, the snare drum and the cadence of this melody and the harmony behind it to sort of elicit like you're on a really important mission to save the galaxy kind of thing. That was the idea. First of all, why I got hired to do this game wasn't because I was known for doing electronic music, but it was so fun to really dig into electronic instruments, synthesizers from the period, Moog synthesizers. I probably wrote this in 10 minutes because it just wrote itself. And, Saren is this really important sort of ally/villain, as I recall. And so that theme was really more about like whenever he would be around, you would hear some version of those dun 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 dun. So the first bit is probably when you saw Saren for the first time, that you would hear that sort of basic theme. And then later on, when something big is happening, we orchestrated it, and made it big and mean and nasty. And you can sort of hear we're bringing in a little bit of orchestra to that synthesizer, just a little bit at the end here. And you can, with a simple theme like this, you can do all kinds of things with it, like you just heard in that. I mean, that's the beauty of like a simple theme too. It's like it's memorable. Like if you get too complex with the theme, no one cares. Like no one's going to remember that. But I like to be memorable and therefore simple. To me, simplicity is a beautiful thing in composition because it's sticky. It sticks with you, Oh, Vigil. This is a great track. And in large part, not because of me. I originally wrote this theme for the Prothean archives on Ilos, I believe. And it was when you're walking in the cave and you see the mausoleum. I guess it's kind of like a mausoleum of all the dead Protheans. And so I wanted this reverent theme. So I brought in sort of a Celtic melody to give it that feeling. And it worked great in that place. And it does play when you walk through there. But after we finish the score, after we finish the game comes out and I throw it in my Xbox and it's in the menu. And I had no idea that was going to happen. That was a last minute decision. There was something else. I think the main theme was in the menu. They put this in. I was like, oh my God, that was brilliant that they did that. Because it just gave the whole game a very different vibe that it really needed. And I think it speaks for itself. People love this track. It makes them feel like they're on some kind. It's very mellow or sad. It's a sad theme, but there's something about it that resonates when people listen to it, especially after they played the game. Like they hear that theme and it almost triggers them. It makes them feel like Mass Effect. It was like a signature for the entire series. And as a composer, it's such a gratifying thing to know that something you've done resonates like that. It's just a phenomenal feeling as a creative person to see that you've done that. I'm so grateful to have been a small part of that, and that people still listen to the music and it still makes them feel how they felt when they first played this game. So thank you to everyone who's listening out there. I appreciate it. I know Sam and Richard and David and all the other people who worked on this game. We're all grateful to have been part of it. So thank you.